Welcome to The Green Room, a show about shows. I'm Meg Walter. I'm here with Emily King. Emily, hello.
Hi, hello.
How are you?
Great. How are you?
I'm great. I'm excited to talk about the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, episode 3. So we start very first line. John, I need a Diet Coke really badly. Spoken by Lisa.
All right. Thanks,
Queen of
Lisa.
my heart. Every morning I say, Steven, I need a Diet Coke so badly. We have a Maverick walk away. One of us walks over, comes back with 244 ounces. It's the perfect marriage.
So good for Lisa. Yeah. Confident.
Good for Lisa. Meredith is getting, it's either warm or cool sculpting with Brooks.
Oh, Brooks, thank heavens. He's really setting the tone. Can't wait to see more of him.
He's in this episode. We missed him so much. So glad he's back. Whitney has decided she wants to throw a 1920s party. Do we have a reason? Is it anyone's birthday?
She says she loves the 20s, which I'm like, Whitney, name one fact you know about the 20s. And then I will be like, yeah, you can throw this party. But Whitney doesn't know anything about the 20s, but like a flapper dress.
She thinks The Great Gatsby is like a heartwarming tale.
She thinks it's real life.
She's like, our president, Jay Gatsby. And we have Heather, who is planning a party of her own. 5 of her employees are pregnant for the first time, all with boys.
Can you believe it? Heather sure can.
She's like, I'm not going to get them diapers and onesies. I'm going to get them these dumb little toy cars that they can't use when what they really need are diapers and onesies.
Hey, I want to say this so any of my friends and family hear me. I don't want a Range Rover for a baby shower gift. I don't want it. It's not easy for me to see that this is what everyone sees about Utah. And it's less easy for me to realize how true it is.
Yeah, I know.
So
can we even get defensive anymore when it's like, no, but really,
it's the truth.
Jen shows up for some reason.
Some diversity is probably the reason. We needed someone who wasn't looks exactly the same.
Emily,
Jen shows up getting driven by her aunt, and I have to assume it's not the aunt that had the legs amputated.
I had the same thought. This has to be a different aunt. She also shows up in bananas shoes.
Bonkers shoes. It's snowing, Meg. I don't get it. I know I gave Mary a really bad time about those white opaque tights, but I don't get open toe shoes in snow season.
Heather and I have the same wreath on our front doors, so that's not nothing.
Where was it? Like to know it. What's the swipe up?
Obviously.
Target. Okay.
Where else would you buy a wreath?
Okay, well, what's this predictable about Heather buying something from Target? Is Heather talking about being ex-Mormon and divorced again? Yawn, Heather.
She's upset, she's looking at pictures of her children, and then there's this gap missing in pictures, and she said, when my husband left me, everything just kind of stopped. And she talks about how she felt like she had failed to meet her calling in life, which is in Mormonism is being a wife and mother. And the other women tell her that and I agree, she is helping her daughters learn that they don't have to conform to something if they're miserable, that their happiness should be a priority, yada, yada.
Heather needs a therapist so bad. She needs a therapist. She's got to work through some stuff. At one point, you decide how you feel on your own. And the fact that Heather says, well, I only married him because he's Mormon. I was like, Heather, you were freaking living in Helaman Halls. Throw a shoe and there's a Mormon guy you can marry. That is such a stupid excuse to me. You were old enough to get married. You're old enough to know your own mind. And I'm like, it's very convenient that you only married him because he was Mormon, but he's rich. So I'm like, okay, if you're not going to marry for love, I guess marry for money. Good move on that, Heather. But I just think I'm so bored with her dialogue about Mormons can't get divorced. I can't stress it enough. I am in a marriage with a divorced person. We're fine. It happens all the time. Mormons get divorced. People just don't keep the same dialogue. Look, you know what your daughters are sick of? You talking about the same thing over and over again.
So then we meet up with Meredith, who forgets to put a lid on a blender and her margarita spills everywhere.
Oh, she's so silly. Meredith, you silly gal. You little goose.
Meredith. Some poor producer has to clean that all up. In walk Chloe and Brooks. Chloe is dressed for
a cocktail party.
I don't know what's happening.
I think she's 18 and like going to the Emmys. I don't know.
I think she was like, this will be my debut on Real Housewives. I'm going to wear this, like, what is it? A Betsy Johnson, like puff sleeved short, cleavagey. Just
it is something. It really is something. And I'm like, Brooks, help your sister out. Because you know Brooks always looks very effortlessly cool. When he was wearing that denim jacket, one side black, one side denim, like jean denim, I was like, Brooks, you've done it again.
Brooks also reveals in this episode that he has his own clothing line. So
I'll buy it.
Did he design that jacket?
What if he designed that dress? Oh no. I hope we don't find that out.
Oh, that would be tragic. That jacket reminds me a lot of New Kids on the Block.
I like everything Brooks does. I'm very into, and he was very cool this episode.
So cool. Which leads us to Jen, who shows up and she's just hanging out with the Marks fam because Sharif is gone all the time. You know,
he's gone.
He's a coach. She's very busy. Her kids are doing their own thing.
Which, like, she says that, and one of those kids is like 13.
I know.
So I'm like, what do you mean by that? You've been gone literally all day. Literally, where has your son been? I guess Stuart's probably driving him to practice.
Yeah, good for Stuart. So she decides that she's going to go hang out with her other family, and she's goofing around with Meredith on the couch, and she's talking about her outfit that she's going to wear to Whitney's Roaring 20s party.
Yep.
And that she can't do high kicks in it. And everyone says, what are you talking about? And she's like, high kicks.
And she does it, Meg.
She demonstrates her high kicks. To me, it didn't look like a big deal. It looked like a woman lifting her leg up on the couch. I don't know. I don't know if the angle was bad, but Brooks claims that he saw a lot of Jen.
The best part, though, about all of this was that the kids said they had to go to Best Buy. That's how they got out of that whole party, in quotation marks, was they were like, we have to go to Best Buy. And I was like, that excuse is so hilarious. What are these kids buying at Best Buy? Like a laser disc? Like, I don't understand what they need there. Like, they're bored. They talk like they're bored by themselves, like we have to go to Best Buy. Like they're just so bored by their own lives. Oh, man, I wish I was like that. I think it's cool. Like I'll say, I think it's cool. I don't need your approval, Brooks, but I think you're cool.
So Lisa is teaching her son to drive. She says a prayer.
A real accurate prayer. When is she going to tell us what Mormon 2.0 is? Because when she did that prayer, I was like, I don't understand. I don't get it. You pray. I just like, and it's fine. She can do whatever she wants. I just want to know what it is so I can judge it accordingly.
Yeah, exactly.
Because right now I don't get it.
They're give us more information or give us no information on all of this stuff. Like spell it completely out for me or don't tease me with it.
Yeah, don't say Mormon 2.0. Maybe I'm interested in that and I'd love to convert to Mormon 2.0, but I don't know. All I know is that you're doing all the same Mormon stuff. You're drinking Diet Coke. You're telling your kid he can't watch porn. You're saying prayers out loud. The only thing so far is that she has an alcohol business, but she always alludes to the fact that she doesn't drink it. So I don't understand.
All right. So then Meredith and Mary meet up for dinner at Table X, which is like 3 blocks from my house.
How does Meredith keep a straight face? She really is. She's a Best Supporting Actress nominee because if Mary talking about how attached she is to her son, I was like, yeah, of course you're attached to your son. You're in a weird marriage with your step grandpa. Like your son has to have all your love because you can't put it anywhere else. It's just so, when Mary talks about her wedding, I can't, it's hard. It's so hard to talk. I can't, I'm just so flustered.
Meredith is like, kind of asks, could you ever leave the marriage? And she's like, no, this marriage was arranged. There's no getting out of it. And that's when I'm like, what?
Mary, you're in a cult, but you also might be the leader. So I don't know who to tell you to call. Because when Mary keeps saying, I can't leave. I'm like, no, you can't. Listen, you can leave. you can't leave and keep all your money. You can't leave and keep your house. You can't leave and keep your terrible closet of designer clothes. So it's not that you can't leave. It's that you can't leave and have the lifestyle that you have, which
Right.
I get it. She seems to live in a very nice 90s mansion. So good for her. But you're married to your step grandpa, Mary.
Yeah.
And when Mary, I don't know, I was just like, Mary, why don't you just come through the TV screen and choke me to death? Because you're literally killing me with this conversation about your marriage.
There's one point later in the episode where she says, if I could have picked any guy in the world, it would have been this guy. And then it cuts to him like hobbling over the kitchen, like giving her this weird smile in this like oversized top. And you're like, nice job, editors.
And flannel pants. I know. The editors are really the stars here. Because I'm like, Mary, listen, I have a very happy marriage, but I would choose, like, if I could marry anyone in the world, there's a lot of options is all I'm going to say.
Yeah. Whitney and her dad and her dad's hair show up to church, to Mary's church.
Mm-hmm. I want to apologize for calling that dad Good Charlotte the whole time last episode, because what he actually is the lead singer from Train. It hit me this time when he was wearing that jacket, and I've been singing Drops of Jupiter. Talks like summer and she walks like rain. That's him.
It's time for the baby shower. They're all dressed in white. It's like an Instagram nightmare.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Jen shows up with barbed wires wrapped around her legs. It looks super painful.
I thought cool. To be honest, when she stepped out, I was like, who's this Victoria's Secret angel? Oh, it's Jen. She got feathers on her dress.
It's amazing that she can do that to her legs and it doesn't look like wrapped ham. Like she's actually.
Oh, it did not look like wrapped ham. You're right. At the baby shower, we see the worst pep talk maybe ever known to man by Heather. Who, I mean, once you're pregnant, you can't take it back. So why are you acting like these girls can be like, oh, you know what? Never mind. Delete. I'm going to like not be pregnant. Like they're all very, very pregnant. They can't get out of it. If you had like the 10 commandments of Housewives, number one would be don't look at porn. Just kidding. Throwback. It would be like bring up problems from 2 years ago. Sure. And make them problems for today. So I am interested in that. I would love to see Mary just completely go crazy, which I think is coming. So while I'm annoyed at Jen, I'm also grateful for her because I need to see this Mary thing happen. I'm just very anxious about it.
I'm a little nervous, I'll be honest. They're all prepping for Whitney's party, choosing their outfits. Jen reveals her look, which she claims is 1920s. It's more 1940s Hollywood, I think. Yes. But like, it's better than Meredith, who shows up in bell bottoms.
Meredith does look cool. I'll give her that. She does look really cool.
Very cool, just not 1920s.
Yeah, but in Meredith's defense, once they started showing the party, and I noticed like half the people there are just in cowboy gear because like, why didn't Whitney rent out this bar? It's like half of it's just with normal Wednesday night patrons.
So we kind of end when Jen spots Meredith talking to Mary again about like nothing. They're talking about jewelry. It's not anything. And Jen
literally
is furious that Meredith.
Livid.
I mean, and she is also mad that Meredith canceled their sleepover at Brooke's insistence.
Yeah, but like that whole dialogue was hilarious, that narrative, because she's always talking about how she never sees Coach Shaw. So like the thing that didn't add up to me was she was supposed to have a sleepover with Meredith that night, but she also had mentioned, oh, I think Sharif is going to be coming late to the party. So I'm like, okay, so Coach Shaw is home tonight and you're going to have a sleepover? What? Like, I don't know. I don't like grown-up sleepovers. I really don't.
I'm worried about all these people's marriages except for Lisa and John.
Lisa does seem like a pretty steady marriage. I mean, I hate to agree with Lisa again tonight, but she also did say, like, what does stripping have to do with the 1920s? And at that point, I was like, great question, Lisa.
And then she said, Whitney loves the stripper pole.
She does, unabashedly. Her daughter knows, her dad knows, everyone knows Whitney loves the stripper pole. And you know what? God bless her for it, because it takes, again, a confident woman to just put her love of the stripper pole out there.
Emily, it's been a real pleasure again.
Can't wait for next week, truly.
I mean, we will be back to discuss everything that happens. Until then, you can subscribe to The Green Room on Spotify or through the Hive Mind feed on Apple Podcasts. Please subscribe to our newsletter, hivemind.substack.com. You can find recaps of all these episodes on thebeehive.com, and we will be back next week.